Hey there everyone, welcome back. Now I've been trying to be a little bit more consistent about putting content out. Um, that might actually help grow the channel a little bit. I mean, I'm actually shrank by one subscriber, so went from 54 down to 53, and I'm trying to go the other direction with that. Trying to hit 100, but I guess the best way to do that is to be a little bit more consistent, right? Of course, that gets a little bit difficult when, I work two jobs and I've got, a couple of other things going on. I have mentioned before that I've got mental health struggles, post-traumatic stress from my military service. So that kind of makes me want to not do stuff sometimes. But that wasn't really where I was going with this video. I told you the other day that I was going to a protest in Davenport, Iowa. Well, I went. I'm glad I went, but I was kind of underwhelmed by that one. For as big a town as Davenport is, there was not much turnout at all. It seemed to be too scripted. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad they had it. I'm glad that the people who did show up were there. And I hope that they don't get discouraged, and I hope that they don't take, if any of them happen to see this video, I hope they don't take this as like a harsh criticism of, you know what, you just pack it in because you don't know what you're doing. No, it's more like, all right, you have an idea what you're doing. You need to work on it. You need to figure out just exactly what works for you. And I hope that you will organize about things more than just May Day, because it was on May 3rd, this protest was. But that's because they didn't have one on the 1st for May Day. They had it 2 days later. And maybe that's why there wasn't so much turnout as well. Sorry, I keep hitting my table here. Trying to get a little bit more comfortable here. And, of course, it's May. Right? Early May, Iowa. Still a little bit cool out there, but we're getting nice weather compared to what we've had. So some people they're going to spend it out doing fun stuff, A lot of people don't want to get involved with the important stuff, right? And I get it. I haven't always wanted to be involved with the important stuff. I'd rather do the fun stuff, right? And then there were times when I would get involved with what I thought was important stuff, and it turns out it really wasn't. But this actually is, whether it's May Day specific or not. I think, overall, May Day is important, but we need to focus on just everything going on in our country right now. Like I did a video the other day. I believe it was just posted yesterday, if I remember my scheduling correctly. But yeah, it was. Where was I going? What was I saying? I get a little bit scatterbrained at times. bear with me. Oh yes, the military being used as civilian police, for example, and why we should be concerned about that. And there's all kinds of things that we should be concerned about. We should be concerned about, the President of the United States posting pictures of himself as the Pope and saying that he'd like to be the next Pope. Well, a couple reasons why that can't happen. Well, one reason really is that he hasn't been baptized Catholic. So, I'm sure he's probably been baptized, as a Presbyterian or whatever. And, excuse me, bear with me, it's getting late here, and I worked today, and it was kind of a long day. But yeah, a president who wants to be the Pope, a president who is ignoring the courts, a president who has Congress in his pocket. He doesn't need Congress to do anything because they're just going to do whatever he wants, right? And if he oversteps his power and, starts with the executive orders and whatnot and, bypassing Congress, what are they going to do about it? Nothing. Are they going to take the power that they ceded to him back? No. I mean, hopefully after the next election, after the midterms, but that's a year and a half away now, isn't it? So, So yeah, the May Day protest in Davenport was, I'm glad they were there. Got to go out there and make some noise. But it was too scripted, in my opinion. A little bit underwhelming, the turnout. I mean, we're talking a city of, Davenport has more than 100,000 people. The Quad City metro area has, maybe 250,000 people? There might have been 100 there. I mean, the one that I was at in Dubuque, Iowa, several months ago. Well, several. I don't remember when that was a few months ago. Yeah, the one in Dubuque, I mean, keep in mind, Dubuque is about half the size of Davenport, right? And there were about 400 people there, right? And then I was at one in Des Moines. Now, keep in mind, the one that I went to in Des Moines has 250,000 people. The metro area has probably 500,000, right? But the one in Des Moines, keep in mind, this was on a Tuesday in the rain. A Tuesday in the rain. And there were still, 300-400 people there. Not as many as we would have liked. But on a rainy and cold Tuesday, I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? So, for those who are inclined, stay out there, keep protesting. I'm still going out there. When the next one is, I'm going to be there. Unfortunately, I don't know when the next one is. I'm inclined to actually go and protest this military parade that the president wants for his birthday. Now, I get it. It's the Army's birthday, 250 years. And, I get it. But, dude, come on. You know damn well that he's making it all about himself. He wants people in uniform goose-stepping down the streets, giving him that stiff-arm salute. I'm not talking about this one. No. You know the one I'm talking about. The one that I'm going to turn my hand this way when I do it. But, because I'm not going to actually do that salute. You know what I'm talking about. He wants them goose-stepping and rolling tanks down the streets of Washington. Yeah. Because, Kim Jong-un doesn't do stuff like that, right? And Adolf didn't do stuff like that, did he? And pretty much any dictator that thinks he's a badass. He wanted a military parade his first time around. He didn't get it. Well, looks like he's gonna get it this time. And there's two schools of thought on that. One is to stay away and just let it look like nobody supports him. The other is to show up and protest. And I'm of the show up and protest mindset. But again, I got sidetracked again. This was supposed to be about Davenport and the May Day protest. I wasn't able to go to the one, to any of them on actual May Day, because, well, got to pay the bills, right? But, maybe if we keep at this, maybe we'll be heard. And don't get discouraged if you don't think we're being heard now, because the Montgomery bus boycotts took over a year. And how many years were the protests for the civil rights movement in the 60s and against Vietnam? How many years? Took a while. But eventually they worked. So, anyway, I was kind of all over the place. And I don't really regret that, because that's kind of the way I am. I'm a little bit scatterbrained at times. So, I'm going to keep at it. I'm about to go to bed here in a minute, but I'm going to be putting out content on a more regular basis. I may have to find my days off to, just record a series of videos like I did with the violations of the Bill of Rights series. That was all done, just in a couple hours. Anyway, I'm going to bed, and I will see you all again next time. Catch you later.